Hello, welcome to SUPboardguide.com. Today we're going to be reviewing the Blackfin Model X. And to be honest, we're very excited to bring this one to you today as it's our top rated all-around inflatable for 2020. And it's our top rated board for a lot of reasons. First and foremost, it's a really high quality, durable inflatable SUP. It's got a really high weight capacity, 450 pounds, and it works really great for beginners all the way up to advanced paddlers. And the reason for that is it works really well in a lot of different conditions. It is a true all-around board. First of all, it works really well in beautiful flat water conditions like what we have here today at the lake, open ocean waters, even with the size, because it's 35 inches wide and only 10 foot 6 inches long, it does a good job in whitewater. Also, iRocker has added some really cool accessories and mount options to where you can turn this into one killer fishing SUP. And you can even take it out into small surf. So as you can see, it really does a good job in a lot of different conditions, which again is one of the reasons why we've rated it our top rated all around for 2020. And kind of bottom line, for me and what I've noticed with everybody that works on our team is if we're headed out to the lake or wherever we're going and we have just one board to grab, almost every time, most people just grab the Blackfin just because it's such a great board. For me, I've got my kids, my family that want to paddle around. I want to have just fun all day out on the lake, and this board does a really good job for that. Okay, so the Blackfin Model X bag, as you can see, it's a little bigger bag than the iRocker all-arounds. It comes down a little bit lower because it has those wheels on the back. So the wheels make it really nice and easy for transporting it to and from your car. It does make the bag a little more heavier, but it still is a very comfortable bag with a nice waist strap and then the chest strap here. As you can see, you can definitely walk around with it. Probably wouldn't recommend like a 2 to 3 mile hike on it, but it does ride really well and it is a very comfortable bag in those regards. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at what you get when you order the Blackfin Model X. So this bag here's got everything that you get when you order it. So I just want to take you through it. First, show you a couple of the features of the bag, because iRocker has upgraded the Blackfin bag quite a bit. It's really nice. It's still nice, thick material like it was last year, but on the sides, you've got here, you've got 2 pouches on the side and zippers behind them, which are really nice and awesome for like storing keys or wallets or kind of other small items. Those fit really well in these small zipper pouches. Then on the front, you get that big zip pouch like you did last year. Then on the back here, they've added a pouch up top here, and it's actually meant to fit their new pump. So we'll be showing you that kind of coming soon. So in all, you get four zippered pouches on the outside with these 2 bungee storage areas and this front storage area up here. And as we come in here, let me kind of show you what we've got. So we got the repair kit, got the leash, got Blackfin's dual chamber triple action pump, which I love. And that's what I like to store in this front pouch. I really like the size of this front pouch because it makes it so I don't have to store the pump in the main section. In this back pouch here for right now, I'm actually really liking storing the fins. It just fits really nice and again, doesn't get in the way with everything else. And so with that, in the main area, all that I really have to put in here would be the paddle here and the board. So as you can see, it's really nice and roomy. It's not hard at all to get this in. It's not like a camping tent or one of those stuff sacks, but it's really nice and roomy. Fits the board really easily. And so that's what you get here with the bag. So again, the bag, really nice quality. On the back, I wanted to show you some of the cushion. It's really cushioned on the side straps in the back. So it breathes really well if you do have to hike it in a half a mile or so. Nice, very comfortable bag. Also has this nice handle here. And I kind of use this back part here for a handle for unloading and loading. And then as we talked about, you have the wheels. And I like the fact that these wheels are on the front side. Some people think that's a little backwards at first, but if they're on this side here, they get tangled in the straps as you drag it. And so it's really nice that they put it on the front of the bag instead of the back of the bag. So as you drag it, nothing's in the way. The only thing I would note that as you're dragging it, try not to rub this part here because it can kind of tear the bag a little bit if you're dragging across asphalt. There's not much that won't get damaged if you do that. But again, overall, great quality bag. So now I'm gonna move this stuff out of the way and I'm gonna show you how to pump up the Blackfin Model X. Okay, so now I'm gonna roll out the Blackfin Model X and show you what it's like to pump it up and point out a couple things that you'll wanna pay attention to as you do the same with the board. First of all, you'll notice it does roll up nice and tight. They've done a really good job actually on the fins. We'll go into this a little bit more on the fin box, but one of the reasons why they went away from the US fin box back to the snap lock fins is because it's a little bit smaller fin box back here and it does roll up a little tighter. So it's one of the reasons why they went there. So included with the Blackfin is their triple chamber dual action pump. And I'm gonna show you how that works. Basically, 2 big chambers here. And so there's 3 different settings. On the first setting, you've got arrows up and down. What that means is air goes in both on the up pump and the down pump. Air is coming in or coming out and blowing up the board on both of those pumps. Now that's going to be the most efficient and give you the most airflow, but it's going to start to get a little hard. So as you go and it gets too hard to do that, you go to number 2, which means on the up pump, nothing's going to come out. And so it's going to be really easy to raise, and then down is going to push air into the board. Then when you really start to get where it starts to get hard, because you're going to pump this up, to a good 14 to 18 PSI, you're going to go to number 3, and that's going to take it down to a single chamber, single action. So on the first action, the up pump, it's not going to blow any air in. Only on the down pump will it start to blow in. So let's show you what that looks like. And you can kind of see for yourself. One thing to note while you're pumping this up, the valve, you want to make sure that it is closed, not pressed down open, because then as you pump, if it's open when you go to engage this, as you pull it off, air will come out. So make sure it's closed. It seems a little bit counterintuitive, but what this does is as you push it down and twist, it pushes that pin down and opens it up for you. We're going to do that. We're going to set this back to number 1, and we'll pump this up. Usually it takes about 5 to 7 minutes pumping it up. And I will be honest, it's one heck of a good arm workout. And because of that, I'm actually going to recommend that pretty much everybody uses the electric pump. So I want to show you that as well. It's an awesome option for my rocker. So we're going to set this to the side here. And we're going to take their electric pump. And like I said, it's probably our number 1 recommended upgrade, just because it just makes it so much easier to get out on the ocean or the lake or wherever you're going with your board, and really enjoy paddleboarding. So you just set it again. I'm going to set this to 15 PSI, goes to 14 to 18, and then you just hit play and it goes. Okay, now we're going to take a little more in-depth look into everything that comes into the kit. Now remember, everything that you see here is what's going to be included on the base price with the Blackfin Model X. So none of these are additional upgrades that you have to purchase, okay? So starting out, the repair kit, kind of a small thing, but it is actually pretty nice to have. So in the repair kit, you get a couple things. If I can get them out here. You get a couple patches, which are nice, right? And so if you do end up getting some type of hole or anything like that, you can patch that up. It doesn't come with the glue. It's not legal to ship it with it, so that's why it's not in there. You also get this nice valve wrench here, and that's for this valve back here. If it does come loose, you can tighten it. So this is something that I definitely recommend to keep a hold of, just put it someplace where you know where it's at. Just store it in the bag somewhere, just in case. To be honest, we haven't had to use them yet, but if you do, it's not something you can just go run down to Home Depot and get. Blackfin Model X also comes with a nice coiled leash, and it's a really comfortable leash. It pivots here really well, so it doesn't get all tangled up on your leg when you're out paddling. Really nice quick release, Velcro there, really comfortable. It also has a little key strap if that's where you want to put it. It's really comfortable. And the nice thing about being coiled is when you've got it connected here into this last D-ring, it's not going to drag in the water as you're paddling and slow you down and get caught in your fins, etc. So as you can see, it's just about that perfect length. Really nice, good quality leash. I really like it. Already kind of went over the bag. Again, really like the bag. The dual action pump, we already went into pretty good depth on that, but again, it is included. You get everything you need there to pump this up and to take that down. Okay, so now I'm gonna come around and I'm gonna show you the paddle, because Blackfin really has upgraded the paddle in a couple areas, and I wanna really kind of point those out so you can see it. But bottom line, it's a 3-piece carbon fiber shaft, thin nylon blade paddle that weighs only 27 ounces, so it's really nice and lightweight. And one thing that I really do like, other than the carbon, the feel of the carbon is just fantastic on your hands, just really nice and comfortable. But I like how they went to a thinner nylon blade, because as you're paddling, that weight on the blade, that's what's all the way out there, and it just adds a lot more weight than what's closer to your hand. So it's nice that they went to this nice thin nylon blade and paired that with the full carbon shaft. Now, to put it together, they also have a dual pin locking system, which is really nice and slick. So you see this top part just slides into this pin. The only thing I'd say is be careful with your fingers. You don't want to smash them. It just locks in really nice like that. And then here, this piece, you just push down, and there's a little pin inside that when you close it, it engages, right? So here you'll see these pins, and you just are gonna put this in, and you'll close it there, and that's how you put the paddle together. And then you can just adjust it. You know, I usually like mine right about here, 5 or 6 inches above my head. Everybody's got kind of their own height that they like it, but that's kind of a good rule of thumb. Just gonna stand up there, a little hand above your head, and kind of go from there. But this is the Blackfin paddle, really good high quality paddle, and that comes standard included in this kit, which we really like. So now we're gonna flip this over and we're gonna put in the fins and show you how their 3 nylon fins work. Okay, so as I mentioned before, the Blackfin Model X comes with 3 snap lock nylon blades. This is where this used to be a US fin box, and they kind of went back to this. Again, just kind of based on customer feedback and what people liked, and you're gonna see kind of why. So it's a nice solid nylon blade there, right? And to snap these in, you've got these 2 bumps here. You just put it in, pop it down, and snap, and it's in. Same with the side fins. Put it in, snap it down, in, snap it down. You can see very sturdy, you know, really good fin system that's just nice and easy. And again, they did come out with that river fin system, so this back fin can be just a much smaller fin if you would like. You can run it single fin if you'd like, there. But it's just easy to put in. It's also easy to take out. Just flip this lock up, take it out, flip that back down. And we've never had any issues with these coming loose or losing a fin or anything. For those who just want to get out on the water and have a good fin for tracking, these are a really good option. Okay, so now we're gonna take a look at the construction and the features on the Blackfin Model X. First thing that I wanna point out is iRocker kept the same construction as last year in terms of the military grade triple layer composite PVC construction, which is just, I mean, it's basically bomb proof. It's fantastic, super stable, just really good quality. They also continued with the carbon fiber rails that run from here down to here. You'll see that when we do the side shot, but the carbon rails just give it a really nice, it makes the board even more firm, and you'll really notice that when you're standing on it, when you're paddling around. All of that is wrapped around the drop stitch core, just like last time, which is basically just thousands of 6-inch threads that when it gets inflated, they're just pulled extremely tight. And that's what gives the board its shape. And it also helps with how helps the board just be very firm. And that's the drop stitch core. Finally, on top here, they have that high quality EVA deck pad. And I really do like this deck pad. I really love the little Blackfin logos on it, but also I really like how they added these, how they have these grooves. It just makes it very comfortable, but at the same time, it lets your feet grip that deck pad really nicely. And so it's just a really good, well-built inflatable paddleboard. Now moving on to the dimensions and some of those things, it's 10 and a half feet by 35 inches wide in the middle. So it is a little wider than some paddle boards. That also helps with that stability, makes it a good fishing SUP, multi-person SUP, etc. And then it is 6 inches thick as well, like all the other iRocker and Blackfin models. There are 3 removable snap lock fins. And with the fins, we actually debated that one a little bit, because they went from the US fin box to the snap lock fins, and they did it for a couple reasons. Number one, customer feedback. Most everyone really loved the snap lock fins, and actually they didn't like having to put in the US fin box more often than not. From a performance level, the snap lock fins do a really good job. They're just really easy to snap in, snap out, don't have to worry about it. It also made the fin box a little bit smaller to make it easier to roll up and store. And so there were just a lot of reasons why they went to that. And they've also developed a river fin system, if that was one of the worries of not having some of that functionality that you do with the US fin box. Because they developed that river fin system, that lets you use that in a few other situations that you otherwise wouldn't. So moving on, looking at the kind of the top of the board, some of the features. They have 3 carry handles, one in the back, one in the middle, and one up front. And what this does, it just makes it really easy to launch the board, to get the board, in and out of the lake, to take it from your car to the lake, to your kids if they need to, can grab the front and back, or you can just carry it from the middle. Just makes it really nice and easy. They're out of your way when you're paddling around. Just a nice little feature that they've got there. They also have these safety handles. These are kind of underrated. They're really nice, especially if you have kids, because they can hold onto these handles here in the front, and you can hold on to the handles here in the back. Like my 3-year-old, awesome kid, but he gets a little bit nervous. And so when he grabs onto that, it just helps him feel a little more comfortable out on the water. As you notice with these handles, there's also 2 really large storage areas. So there's 6 D-rings on that storage up front, and then 6 on the back. The back's just a little bit smaller in the front, but definitely plenty of space. Technically, if you don't like these, you could take them off if you want. And same with the straps here. But just makes it to where you can pretty much store whatever you want on the board, especially when you add in the fact that there's 20 D-rings. So starting from the back, going forward, and then also on the back side here, they've got another D-ring for towing the board if you're behind a boat or something like that and want to tow it out someplace and then launch from there. So with 20 D-rings, you can just do a ton of things. You can see up here, they've got the kayak seat mounting points, so you can add their nice kayak seat, which they also have a pad that raises that up a little bit. Highly recommend that, just makes it a little more comfortable. So you can pretty much put anything on here that you want. And then where Blackfin really kind of upped their game was with the action mounts. Last year they had the single action mount. This year they went to 8. That's right, 8. So you have 2 up front, kind of full action mounts here. Great for GoPros, cup holders. They have the really cool Vibe speaker that you can put in here as well. Heck, you can put 2 GoPros on here now. So you got 2 here, and you've also got 2 here, and then you've got 2 down here and 2 over here. So 8 total is what you have. So again, you can pretty much put anything you want on it. Then here, there's mounts for fishing accessories. So you'll notice that they have this little strap here. This is for their push-pull fishing spear, where say you get into a really nice spot in the shallows and you don't want to drift, you want to be really quiet, you can use their spear to really kind of anchor yourself in place there. And they have a really cool mount system that uses for that. And then they've got their fishing accessories that can mount here. And just as you can see on the board, so many features, so many different things that you can do with the board. Again, that's one of the reasons why we rated it so high. With all of these accessories, the board's a little bit heavier. It is 27 pounds on the board, but given that you get that military grade triple layer composite PVC construction, again, bomb proof, all of these accessories, we think it is worth adding the couple pounds that they added versus last year's model. And remember, with everything that you get from iRocker, and that includes the Blackfin, you still get the 2-year warranty. You can actually add a 30-year warranty if you'd like for a little bit extra money. And they also have the 60-day returns. So try it, see what you think, right? They will stand behind everything that they do. They really have 5-star customer service, and one of the other reasons why we like iRocker so much. Okay, so from a performance standpoint, I really like the Blackfin Model X. You know, when we look at boards, we look at stability, we look at maneuverability, we look at how they track and how they glide. And so from a stability standpoint, the Model X is really wide. It's 35 inches wide, 10.5 feet long, 6 inches thick. There's a lot of volume there. It's 270 liter volume board, 450 weight pound capacity. And I mean, you can see it's just very steady. It's really good for beginners, for people who haven't paddled a ton and are worried about being stable and being able to get up and paddle instead of having to sit on their knees. This board is just a fantastic board and one of our top picks for that all the time. For people who are taller, who are heavier, just a great board because it is so stable. And it's one of the reasons why it's rated so highly with us, right? But even though it is so stable, doesn't mean that it's not maneuverable and that you can't do things with it, right? So if just from some of the regular turns that you can do, you can see here, this is kind of more of like a beginner turn. Just kind of paddle back here. You can turn around pretty easily. Does a good job, right? And then as you get a little more advanced even, and you want to try that, you know, that back pivot turn, that's something that some people get a little bit nervous on, but it's actually a little bit easier on the Blackfin Model X. So to do that, you can just kind of twist your foot in there and start stepping to the back, right? Take a couple steps back, nice and slow, and then you can just raise that nose a little bit, and by doing that, as you spin, you'll be able to turn much more quickly, kind of turn on a dime, and it's kind of a lot of fun, right? Now to come out, just do the exact opposite. You can step forward there, just like that, right? And so, as you can see, because it's such a stable board, you're able to maneuver still on those back fin turns, and we really like that. And so if you're going down the river or something like that and you need to move in and out of rocks, the fact that it's only 10'6" makes that a little bit easier than like an 11 or 12 foot board would be. And so just another reason why we love the Model X with that. Now, as far as tracking and glide goes, as you can see, it tracks really well. Those 3 fins in the back do a really good job of keeping the board straight. And it glides really well. It's not gonna be a touring board, you know, and I'll just turn here really quick, but as you'll notice, you know, being 35 inches wide, it's not gonna, that's one area where it's just not gonna be able to compete against like a 30-inch touring board, but it still does a really good job. I really like the rocker line on it. So the nose is an all-around shape, right? But so with that rocker line, well, that means that front of that nose is lifted up just a little bit. You'll notice as I'm paddling, it doesn't push a lot of water, right? So it's not gonna hold you back there. And then if there is some chop, I mean, there's no chop out here today, but if there were some chop, coming just slightly to that point with that slight rocker is gonna help you get through that chop really well. Then on the back, it tapers just a little bit, not as much as the nose, and has a little bit of rocker, not as much as the nose again, but that's gonna keep it from pulling too much water, so you can still paddle nice and quickly. And once you get the board going, it really does a great job paddling. So if you're gonna go out and paddle for a couple of miles, you're gonna be very comfortable on this board. And just overall from a performance standpoint, the Model X is just a fantastic board that paddles really well, that feels very stable, very comfortable underneath your feet, and just makes for a really good board. Like if you wanna take it out all day and, you know, store kids up front, kids in the back, a cooler, you really can do so much with this board that you just can't do with some of the other boards that are a little more basic. And that don't have that weight capacity. You know, if you're only a single rider, it still is really nice because you can use this for fishing, you can use it for paddling around flat waters, just really again in any situation. The only possible drawback of the 35 inches wide is you do have to reach a little bit more over to the side to keep that paddle nice and straight up and down, because that's really going to make a difference in terms of if you're paddling straight or if you're paddling to the side. If you notice I paddle here, I will turn a little bit more, right? And so that is one thing just to be aware of. So if it is something you're concerned about, you could look at the Model XL, which is 1 inch thinner, or you could look at the iRocker all around 11 foot that is only 32 inches wide. All right, so bottom line, as you can tell, we really do love the Blackfin Model X, and that for all of those reasons, that's why we've rated it as our top rated all-around inflatable paddleboard for 2020. Again, in summary, it's just a really good, high quality, durable board. It's gonna fit, you know, with a 450 pound weight limit, you're gonna be able to take it out yourself or with your family or load it up for fishing. You know, it's just a great board for everybody from beginners to advanced paddlers, and just does a fantastic job in all around conditions, from flat water, open ocean, white water, fishing, small surf. It's just a fantastic all around board. And that's kind of why, like I mentioned before, if there's one board that we have to grab, you know, on the team, this is usually the one that we're grabbing, just because it does such a good job in all those different situations. So hopefully the video helped out. If you have any questions, you know, leave them in the comments below or go to our website, www.supboardguide.com, to read the full review.